Today I want to talk about intuition. Behind me I have some easy air and some wild orange going in the diffuser that were chosen by my intuition. What I mean by that is I closed my eyes and I randomly chose the oils that felt the best. So I'm going to do that as well right now. I've supported myself by not putting any of these in color coordinated ways so that I could randomly choose. And I chose oregano. I am going to look up what that means in my handy dandy book. Before I do that, I'm going to put some on myself. So oregano is considered a spicy oil, so you want to make sure that you do put it on your body with some dilution. So I'm using the doTERRA fractionated coconut oil, 1 drop of oregano, because that will do ya. Put it in my hands. Breathe it in. I'm going to put it on the back of my neck, rub a little bit on my chest. And truth be told, my little earsies want some, so I'm going to put that there. All right, so I'm going to go to my resource book, because as I'm still learning about the oils, I'm not sure about all of them. So Emotions and Essential Oils, a reference guide for emotional healing. Okay, so one of the ways I can look it up is by going to the oil specifically. So oregano or oregano is the oil of humility and non-attachment. Oregano cuts through the fluff of life and teaches individuals to do the same. It removes blocks, clear negativity, and cuts away negative attachments. Oregano is a powerful oil and may even be described as forceful or intense. I will share this in the comments so that you can read the rest of the post. One other thing I want to share is these toxic attachments limits one's capacity to feel a healthy connection to the divine. Oregano encourages true spirituality by inviting the soul to live in non-attachment and teaches that devotion to the higher power includes letting go of rigidity, willfulness, negative attachments, and materialism. So cool. So we're talking about intuition. And this is what we pulled. I love it. All right, so this is a great way for you to strengthen your relationship to your intuition is by closing your eyes and making choices, right? We're making them based on our gut decision, on what feels the best. So I encourage you to do that with like low risk decisions if you're just starting to get into being in deeper connection with that gut, knowing that higher wisdom, that voice that says do this. So I want to share a story with you. Last week, I got dropped off for work a little bit early, so I had about an hour before I was expected at the job, and I decided I wanted to go get a coffee. So I am looking at this cafe, and I've never been in there, and I was going to do something that, go to a cafe I'd been to before. However, this one got a little shiny. It got my attention, and so I looked at it, and then I started walking past it, and I was like, no, I'm not going to go into that today. And then I didn't get very far, and I walked past it again. And there was still a part of me that was resistant to going into this cafe. And then the barista smiled at me. And so I was like, okay, I'll go in. So I went in, ordered my coffee, sat in the corner, and started to read my book. And currently I'm reading David Data's The Way of the Superior Man. So amazing. This book was chosen on intuition as well. I went to an op shop or a thrift store. I was like, why am I here? Went directly to the book section, found this book. I have been told about this book for probably a year and a half now, and there it was for, 50 cents waiting for me to purchase it. So grateful that I listened that day. So those are the kind of things that I'm encouraging you to do, right? Go to a place. Choose your route to work based on your intuition, right? It might not necessarily make logical sense. However, you're learning and trusting your gut, which is very, very cool. And you're hearing, possibly you're getting images. I'm not sure how your intuition shows up for your life. So anyways, so I go into this cafe, order my coffee. I'm sitting down reading this book, and the owner walks past, and he gets really excited because he too has read that book, and he's given it to friends as gifts. We hug. We're just in this sweet connection, right? We're complete strangers. And because of our openness, we get to share like deep conversations immediately upon meeting each other. And the barista joins in, and it was just really amazing. So that experience would have been enough. Then he goes and gives me a free piece of cake. Awesome. That again would have been enough. And then as I'm leaving, this guy Steven opens the door for me and says, here's the light. welcome. And I get welcomed into this bright, sunshiny day by this beautiful man who has shown me both his masculine and his feminine, and it changes my entire day. I'm so grateful that I went into that cafe that morning to have a coffee. So what I'm getting to look at is how come I didn't immediately go into that space. When something told me, like, that's the cafe, what was the block? And I'm inviting you to explore that as well. If you hear, or your gut feeling or your intuition, however you experience it, says do this, and yet you resist or you don't, right? Because sometimes I do that too, right? Like bring in my laundry, I hear myself or something say that, and then I don't, and then it rains, and then they're not dry, right? Little things like that, or even huge things, right? Because our intuition keeps us safe and is very wise. And sometimes we don't listen because maybe it doesn't make logical sense. So I'm asking you to explore what the block is if you don't immediately listen. And I'd love to hear what's going on for you. And I want to also hear about what happens when you choose to live from a place of intuition and that wisdom and that gut feeling. All right. So please let me know, and thanks for letting me share.